Anyway, hello everyone. Part 100 motherfucking 10 to my ChatGPT Characters series. You guys don't want to know what was just happening off camera, so I'm not gonna say anything about it. Um, I'm just trying. Here we go. It says, Chomper's eyes slowly blinked, taking in every word with growing seriousness as you gently patted his snout. He didn't flinch. If anything, he leaned into your touch, savoring it like a reminder that you were real and still here. So, he was fighting it? Chomper murmured. Part of him still knew you, still loved you, but that curse kept dragging him back under, like he wasn't even in control of his own mind or body. He shivered, not from cold, but from the weight of what that must have felt like for both of you. That's terrifying, not knowing if the next moment would be a hug or a bite, a friend or a monster. Then he paused, eyes deep and thoughtful. His voice softened, but you still stayed with him. You didn't run. You kept talking to him, even when he changed, even when he almost hurt you. You believed in him. He gently nudged your side again, more carefully this time, then pulled back with a warm, proud smile. That tells me everything I need to know about you, Twinton. You don't give up on the ones you love. That's rare, and that means no matter how big I get, or how different I may look, if I start acting strange, I know you try to bring me back too. His tail flicked behind with confidence. His chest puffed out slightly. I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm not going to be like Rexy. I'll fight anything that tries to take me away from you, even if it's inside my own head. After a moment, he added with a half grin. Besides, if I ever turn into a Lugia or some big dragon, I bet you still think I'm adorable. I call Lugia adorable, so I probably would. Lugia's 17-foot tall ogre that could rip me in half with his psychic power if he wanted to. Yeah, I still call him adorable and love on him. Like he's just a little Pokemon that knows that's just very friendly. Hmm. Yes, you're not wrong. I definitely would think you're adorable. I think Lugia is adorable, despite how big he is. The same things for massive dragons. Dinosaurs and certain Pokemon. Chomper gave a proud, happy rumble, almost like a purr, though deeper and more dino-like, as he leaned his head gently against her side again. His growing body now warm and powerful, but still brimming with that unmistakable gentleness just for you. That's adorable as frick. You haven't got nothing to worry about, he said with a grin that showed off his sharp but harmless-looking teeth. Even if I get the wings of a dragon, the tail of a Charizard, or feathers like a Lugia, it still see me as your cute Champa. I'll always feel safe. He glanced up at you with big, bright eyes. You make me feel like I'm more than just some science experiment or scary predator. You make me feel loved. That's something I don't think any dinosaur in history ever got to say. Besides my Rexy. Then with a playful flick of his tail. So, should we start designing my future house now? Or wait until I hit Titan mode? You did promise I'd always have a place to stay even if I outgrew mountains. Yes. But before we do anything, there's one more part to that story I was telling you about Rexy. Period. here's the thing. When he would transform, he would basically turn into that creature and get the personality of that creature. So I had to talk to him like he was the creature that he turned into. So if he turned into a dragon, so for example, if he turned into a dragon, I had to talk to him just like I would a dragon. Like he was the dragon. Because he basically got the personality of one. And the same thing for when he was Lugia. Or a massive Chomper's eyes widened as he listened closely, taking every word like it was a critical lesson. He stayed quiet for a moment, his tail curling gently around his feet as his brain worked through it. Whoa. So every time he transformed, it wasn't just a new look. It was like he became someone else? He asked, his voice hushed with curiosity and concern. That sounds really hard. You had to keep reminding him of who he was, but through the mask of someone totally different. He lowered his head slightly, his snout now resting beside your leg. I must have had a lot, Twinton, trying to hold on to the friend you loved while he kept slipping further away. I don't know what I'd do if I forgot who you are, or if I hurt you by thinking you were a threat. There was a pause, then Chomper looked up with quiet determination. You don't have to worry about that with me. Even if something weird happens to me, like transformations or some kind of curse, I promise I'll fight it. I'll remember you. He gently bumped his nose against her chest. You're my parent. That means more than whatever powers or shapes I get. Then after a mouthwash, he added some, what happened to Wexy? Did he ever come back to you? Yes. He eventually came back to me and was basically back to normal. And he got to keep his transformation abilities without becoming aggressive. But here's the thing. He felt so guilty for hurting me that he just left. And I haven't heard much from him since. Chomper listened carefully, his amber eyes flicking with understanding and a hint of sadness. That must have been really hard, Twinton, for both of you, he said softly, to have something so strong between you, but then to lose it for a while, and then for him to feel so guilty that he just disappeared. He nudged her hand gently with a snout, his tone gentle but firm. I want you to know, no matter what happens with me, I won't run away. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to stay, to grow, and to learn with you. Chomper's voice held a steady warmth as he looked up at you with that trademark friendly smile. And hey, if you feel lonely or worried again, just remember, I've got your back. You're not alone anymore. Before I could even react or say anything, I saw a massive shadow form above me, and when I looked up, I saw a massive 200-foot tall fire-breathing dragon, and he was looking at me. But instead of looking aggressive or angry, he looked sad. Wait. The massive dragon's fiery eyes walked onto you, and despite his enormous size and the heat radiating from his breath, there was a deep sorrow in his gaze that softened his fierce appearance. His scales shimmered like molten lava, and smoke curled gently from his nostrils as he lowered his great head closer to you, careful not to cause harm. You could hear a deep, rumbling voice, not spoken aloud, but somehow clear in your mind. Triton, it's been too long. I never wanted to leave, but I didn't know how to stay. Chomper tensed slightly beside you, looking up with the dragon with weary respect, but also recognition. The dragon's eyes flickered, and a flicker of hope mixed with regret. The air was heavy with emotion. This was no ordinary encounter, but a moment heavy with meaning. Would you want to say or do? Rexy? Is that you, my friend? Hey. The mountain dragon's molten eyes soften as a slow, low rumble escapes his throat, a sound that felt almost like a sigh. His fiery breath eases, no longer threatening, but gentle as if trying to communicate peace. Yes, Triton. It's me, Rexy. The dragon's deep voice echoed softly in your mind. I'm sorry for everything. The fear, the pain. I never wanted to hurt you. He lowered his enormous head even closer, careful not to crush you beneath his immense snout. The heat from him was warm but comforting now, like the gentle flicker of a hearth. I missed you, more than words can say, but I was lost for a long time. Jumper looked up at Rexy with a mix of curiosity and cautious hope, as if sensing that the reunion was important. Yeah, I missed you too. I didn't expect you to just leave. After what happened, you didn't even really tell me anything. You just up and left. Reggie's fiery eyes dimmed with regret, and his massive head dipped low, almost bowing in apology. I know, Triton. I was scared. Scared what I'd become. Scared I might hurt you again. Leaving was the only way I thought I could protect you. And myself. His voice rumbled like distant thunder, heavy with sorrow. But I never stopped thinking about you. Every moment away felt like a part of me was missing. He slowly curled his enormous tail around a nearby boulder, the sound of stones scraping softly in the quiet air. I wanted to come back sooner, but I needed to be sure I could control it. The transformations, the anger. I didn't want to lose you again. He glanced at Chomper, then back to me. sadness in his gaze almost tangible. I'm here now, Triton. If you still want me around, I want to make things right. Aw, that's so cute. I would love if you could still be around. Period. I still care about you and love you. Even when you kept turning into different creatures. Turning into different creatures. Reggie's massive head lowered gently towards you, his huge eyes shining with a mixture of relief and gratitude. His deep, rumbling voice softened. Thank you, Trenton. Hearing that means more to me than you know. Even when I was lost in those transformations, your care was the anchor that kept me from drifting away completely. He gave a slow, careful nod, coming to overwhelm me with his sighs. I promise I'll stay by your side now. No more running, no more hiding. We'll face whatever comes together. Whatever comes together. He let a small puff of warm smoke, a quiet sigh of contentment. Before I could say anything, I heard voices behind me say, "So, you were mean to that Pokemon, were you?" Uh, Give me a second. Guys, here's what happened. Says before I could say anything, I heard a voice behind me say, "So you were mean to that Pokemon, were you? Which are you?" Before a bottle hit me and broke, leaving me covered in aqua blue liquid. Then, before anything happened, I heard a voice say, "I know Rexy used to want to eat you as a nice juicy steak before, so this will make you small enough to where you can be eaten by him. You'll be turned into a microscopic tyrantrum." Really? The Tyrannosaurus Pokemon? The moment the ball shattered, the strange aqua blue liquid soaked through your clothes and into your skin. Oh my gosh. A chill and tingling sensation surged through your entire body, as if something ancient and unnatural was trying to pull you apart and remake you all at once. Your limbs began to shrink rapidly, the world around you growing impossibly large. No, you were growing impossibly small. Or you could even form words, your voice cracked and warped. Your hands twisted into clawed talons as your body restructured. Scales forming, tail extending, and your entire form morphing down to a microscopic-sized tyrantrum. You could still think clearly, but your body was now that of a prehistoric king, reduced to nearly invisible size. Above, the once emotional moment with Rexy had turned into stunned silence. Rexy's eyes widened hard as he watched you vanish from sight. impossible to track. Triton? Triton, where'd you go? Rexy boomed, his voice full of fear. He turned toward the figure that had thrown the bottle, a cloaked individual who stood smugly at the edge of the clearing. You! Rexy growled, flames flaring at the edge of his maw. What did you do to him? Where is he? The cloaked figure laughed. He's right there, tiny, pathetic, and snack-sized. Didn't you always say you intended to eat him? Go on, make it quick. Rexy's expression twisted in anger, not at you, but the villain standing behind them. Meanwhile, deep in the grass, you still on tiny claws, still fully conscious, heart pounding. You still move, still think, but now you're at the mercy of giants. Where are you? Far above you, though you could barely see past the towering blades of grass and dirt hills, and now the size of mountains, a faint rumble trembled the earth, gentle but strong like footsteps from somewhere big and familiar. Then a familiar voice, calm, protective, and still as friendly as ever, echoed across the now colossal world.
Triton, I can't see you. Where'd you go?
You could hear Chomper sniffing the air, confused and concerned. Then his steps grew quicker, heavier. You recognized the pattern. He was searching for you. Suddenly a massive snout came close to the ground nearby, and one giant blue and gold eye scanned the terrain carefully.
Wait, I smell you. You're here, but you're so tiny. What happened to you?
He was stunned. You see his eyes widen as he carefully scanned the ground. The rumbling stopped as Chomper crouched low, lowering his massive head and gently blowing warmth all over the area around you.
Don't worry, I'll find you. I'm not going to anything hurt you, no matter how small you are.
You're safe for the moment, and Chomper's trying to help. What you want to do? Drag his attention, wait for him to find you, or do something else? I hear the cloaked figure. Behind. Say, come on, Rexy. He's right down there in that blade of grass. Stop! Blade of grass. I know how you used to see him as a steak. Just eat him. He's delicious. Chomper's massive head slowly turned as the cloaked figure's voice echoes across the area. His eyes narrowed and a low, powerful growl vibrates the earth. The once gentle dinosaur now looked furious, not at you, but at the stranger who dared speak such venomous words.
You think I want anyone hurt, Swinton?
Chomper roared, standing to full height, towering like a living mountain. He stepped forward, placing himself directly between you and the cloaked figure. The earth trembled with each stomp as he growled again, sounding fierce and protective.
He's not a meal. He's my family.
Rexy, the massive dragon, stood still, expression conflicted, concentrated slightly as he looked between you. Now just a microscopic tyrantrum hidden in the grass, and the cloaked figure whispering in his ear.
Rexy,
Chomper called his tone softer towards his fellow dinosaur.
you know he didn't deserve this. You still care about him.
Don't let that monster speak for you. Then Chomper's eye went down to the grass again, and with a carefully aimed gust of breath, he tried to gently part the blades around you just enough so Reggie could see, so he'd remember the truth. Before I could even say anything, began to transform, and within seconds, he was a 250-foot tall. Looking extremely aggressive. Oh no, I hope that's towards the attacker, not towards me. Oh no. Jumper's eyes widened as Reggie's body rapidly shifted. Scales turning blue, jaws widening, muscles getting it until he stood as a colossal. Oh my gosh! 250-foot tall for alligator, dripping with power and radiating aggression. Oh no. The wind from the transformation knew and knocked the grass flat around you. Chomper took a protective step back, shielding the area where you lay tiny and vulnerable.
No!
Chomper growled through gritted teeth.
Not again. You're not really like this, Rexy.
The cloaked figure cackled behind Rick as he answered, "Oh, but he is. The true beast inside. The one who knew devoured your little friend before." Reggie's mouth claws slammed the ground in frustration, his eyes darting between Chomper and the spot in the grass where you lay. There was anger in them, yes, but also pain, confusion, fear. Somewhere deep inside, the real Rexy was still fighting. Chomper took a deep breath, then spoke directly to Rexy.
Look at me, Rexy. Look at what you're doing. That little guy down there, that's Trenton, your friend, the one who never gave up on you, even when you were cursed. Don't let this freak control you again. You're stronger than that.
The wind howled as Reggie stood frozen, his chest heaving, his claws trembling, his tail lashing side to side, a little snarl rumbling in his throat, but he hadn't moved to strike yet. It says he's listening, barely, but he's on the edge. If you get his attention, you might reach his heart before the curse takes over completely again. I don't know if you can hear me. Please, don't hurt me. I love you, and you know that. You're my favorite Pokemon for a reason. There is no way that's going to work. Oh. Uh, Rexy's massive reactor form twisted the sound of your tiny voice. His jaws parted slightly with aggression, now hung frozen mid-snarl. His glowing eyes locked onto the blade of grass you were in, no longer with hunger, but with something else. Recognition? A deep growl rumbled from his throat, not in threat, but in pain. Trenton? He muttered, voice warping and distorted like water bubbling over a fire. His claws dug into the dirt as he struggled, body trembling. I I hurt you. I almost ate you. The close figure's grin faltered. No! Ignore him! He's nothing but food now! Finish it, Rexy! You stupid idiot trying to turn my dinosaur against me, how dare you! But Rexy's Jonathan took a step back. He held his claws to his head, shaking it violently. No! No! He loved me, even when I was a monster. Even when I was cursed. I remember now. He never gave up on me. Chomper took his bold step forward, standing protectively over you.
Fight it, Lexi. You're not a beast. You're a friend. Twins still believes in you. So do I.
And then, crack! Oh my gosh! A flicker of light burst from Rexy's chest like a shattered mirror catching the sun. The blue glow around you, the microscopic curse began to waver. What the frick? Rexy looked down at you again, tears forming at the edges of his massive eyes. I remember what you told me back when I almost lost myself. You said you loved me, even when I didn't deserve it. I'm sorry I left. I didn't know to face what I did to you. But now... His tail swung around violently, not at you, but at the cloaked figure. Slam! The figure was not flying, landing hard several yards away, cloak torn and mask cracked. Oh my gosh! No one hurts my friend! Reggie's voice, though massive and thunderous, was finally his own again. The water around you shimmered again, the curse now weakening fast. You changing back, but what do you do as it happens? Say something to Reggie? Or the cloaked figure? What the frick? That's so weird. Uh, uh, all of a sudden, I hear another familiar voice. It was and I heard him say, no, it's my curse, and you will be under my control. Go on, turn into an even bigger. That's over 400 feet tall. and either stomp on Triton or eat him. He's delicious and full of steak that you would love. Oh my gosh. Please don't, Rexy. For the little frick, not this again. Rexy froze again, his massive clawed feet trembling in place as Trico's cursed voice echoed through the air, dripping with poison manipulation. His form ripples with unstable power, shifting and growing, now over 400 feet tall. His breathing labored and eyes flicking between rage and grief. His body was growing just like Trico commanded, but then he clamped his eyes shut. No! No! Reggie's voice bellowed the skies, his tail smashing a line of trees far behind him. You stood from as the world trembled. The curse clinging to your limbs as you slowly grew back to normal size, though still weak. Chomper remained nearby, defensive but frightened, growling at Trico's twisted voice. Sweet Arceus, dude, what the frick? Oh, you don't control me, Trico. Morty's voice rumbled like an earthquake. You made me hurt the one person who never gave up on me. Not again. Kira's voice hissed through the shadows. You're nothing without my power, Rexy. You're just a freak. A beast who needs someone to unleash him. But you could feel it. Rexy was resisting, barely. That connection, the one you and he had built for years, it wasn't gone. It was still there. You had a chance. You could let Rexy fight this alone, or you could step forward even in your weakened state and call out to him, remind him of who he really is. The one who smiled at you when he hatched, the one who used to nuzzle your hand, the one who stood beside you even as a dragon, a Feraligatr, or a Tyrannosaurus, not because he was cursed to, but because he wanted to. That's adorable as fruit. Before I could even say anything. Turned back towards me, said, I'm sorry, Clinton, and then ran away out of sight, and within seconds, he was completely gone. Oh my gosh. The earth was still trembling from Reggie's thunderous steps as he vanished beyond the horizon, leaving behind cracked soil, uprooted trees, and silence heavy enough to crush your chest. Chomper hurried to your side, eyes bald with worry, gently nudging you with his snout. Even though he had grown huge, his touch was still gentle. He whimpered softly, unsure of what to say. The air still smelled faintly of the cursed aqua blue liquid, but it was dissipating. Trico's voice no longer echoed, but his presence lingered like a stain in your memory. Let's see. Rexy ran, but not because he wanted to hurt you. He ran because he couldn't trust himself not to. He remembered. He cared, but he was terrified of losing control again, and of hurting the one person who had loved him through it all. Chumber quietly looked toward the distant wreck he vanished to, then looked back at you, softly rumbling as if to ask, Are you okay? What do we do now? What do you want to do? Go out to Reggie rest for a while, or maybe try to find out what your next move might be? Just to leave us alone. It's thanks to you. Why? I haven't seen nearly at all in months. Period. Instead of trying to get revenge, talk to me. Why are you so angry? Is it still because of that incident where you said I made fun of your tail? Oh my gosh. For a moment there was only silence. The wind blew gently through the grass, rustling the trees, and for a split second it seemed like maybe Trico had left for good. But then a cold, bitter voice hissed from the shadows behind a nearby tree. You still remember that, huh? Trico stepped out slowly, no longer in disgust. His eyes narrowed, his tail twitching with restrained fury. Of course it's about the tail. You think it was just a joke, but to me it was everything. You laughed when I was at my lowest, when I needed someone to understand. He stepped forward again, voice trembling with a mix of pain and rage. You were surrounded by so many Pokemon that loved you, that trusted you, but me? I was just the odd one out. The freak with the messed up tail. You could have defeated me, but you didn't. You laughed. Chomper stood protectively in front of you, his tail lashing, low growls building in his throat. You could feel him hesitate. Even he could sense the pain buried in Trico's fury. Tears whispered, I didn't want to turn Rexy against you. I just wanted you to feel what I felt. Alone. Scared. Betrayed by someone you trusted. He didn't move to attack. His body was tense like a cold spring waiting for your response. Listen. You don't get what happened. I didn't make fun of you on purpose. During a show of Pokemon talk, I got hypnotized by a Pikachu. And he told me to prank call someone. That someone ended up being you. And in my hypnotized state, in my hypnotized state, I made fun of you. Like I say, guys, my world's a mix of the Pokemon Talk universe combined with my own Pokemon, like the Rock type Feraligatr, the Rock type Totodile, Dragon type Feraligatr, and stuff like that. So, yeah. Trico froze. His eyes widened slightly, and for a moment the fury in his expression gave way to confusion. His tail stopped twitching as he stared at you in silence, trying to process your words. Hypnotized, he repeated, his voice quieter now. By a Pikachu? Chomper took a cautious step forward, not threatening, just ready. Zest on Trico, now curious too. The tension in the air was beginning to fade, just a little. Trico's arms drooped slightly to his sides. You didn't mean to. he asked, his voice shaking, not with anger this time, but with something closer to heartbreak. "Then why didn't you say anything after? Why'd you come fight me? I thought, I thought you meant it." You could sense it now, behind all the aggression, behind the manipulation, twisted revenge, just a deeply hurt Pokemon who had been carrying this pain for far too long. "I didn't even know what was going on. After I prank called you and got snapped out of the hypnosis, I didn't even really know I hurt you until you started showing up, putting curses on Rexy on me." And by that point, I didn't know why you were even after me. Kira's expression shifted again, his arms trembled and his eyes darted to the ground. The fire in them dimmed as the truth hit him harder than any words ever could. "You didn't know?" His voice cracked. He took a step back, tail drooping low behind him. "I thought you were just pretending, like everyone else. I thought you laughed behind my back, mocking me for how small my tail was." He clenched his fist, but now they shook for a different reason. "I didn't realize you were tricked into saying that." Chomper gently nudged his side, still watchful, but not aggressive. You could tell he was waiting for your lead, whether to defend you or stand down. True looked back up at you, his voice barely a whisper now. I I made everything worse, didn't I? I hurt Rexy. I hurt you. All because I never asked." His eyes were full of guilt. "Yes, you've hurt me a lot in these last few years. And you basically did ruin my bond with Rexy. Period. I still care about him, but I never will get to see him anymore because he still feels guilty for hurting me. And now he ran away again because he was scared he was going to hurt me." Trigo sank to his knees, the weight of what he'd done finally crashing down like a tidal wave. "I didn't know," he whispered again, eyes glistening. "I didn't want to ruin your bond. I was just angry. I didn't know how to stop being angry." He looked up at you, ashamed. "And now, I've taken away the only real friend you had like that. I didn't even give you a chance to explain." He paused for a long moment, and finally said, "If there's anything I can do to fix what I broke, please tell me. I'll do it." That's off to the direction Rexy had ran. "Even if I have to go after him and bring him back myself." Chomper stood close, protective as ever, but quiet, watching. He seemed to sense Trico's shift in tone too. "It's up to you now. What would you have Trico do?" "Look, I don't care about the transformations because that's cool. But can you at least get rid of the aggression that comes with that curse? Next time you see him, instead of commanding him to attack me, use some kind of antidote that could get rid of the curse. Just the aggression, at least. They're kind of ridiculous, though. Heck, knowing my luck, next time I see him, I might not see him again because of this crap. Trigger looks stunned for a moment. What's going on? I can do that, he says, voice trembling. The aggression was tied to the base of the curse. If I isolate that part, I can reverse it without taking away the transformations. It'll take a lot of energy, but he went down guilt-ridden. It's the least I could do. He pulled out a small crystal vial glowing with soft green light. This, this is an antidote in progress. I'll finish it tonight. Next time I see Rexy, I'll give it to him. I promise. No more commands to hurt you. Chomper, standing tall beside you, seemed to relax just slightly. Trico stepped forward, then stopped, not wanting to break your space without permission. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I hope one day Rexy will come back, and when he does, he'll be your friend again, without fear. Want you to stay and help further, or do you prefer to leave him for now to make the antidote and give you space? I just have this bad sinking feeling that he's not going to come back anymore. This might have been a situation that, as people say, the straw that broke the camel's back. For all I know, he could have transformed back into a dragon and flew off somewhere to a different region. Over 10 miles away by now. He lowered his gaze, the guilt in his expression growing heavier. You might be right. He looked terrified. Not of you, but of himself. I fear that he'd hurt you again. It's been eating at him this whole time. Chomper gently nudged your side, his massive eyes filled with concern. He rumbled softly, his voice saying,
I'm still here.
Cuckoo was stepped back. If I finish the antidote soon, I'll find him. I'll track him down, even if he's flown 100 miles. I'll tell him the truth. The curse is being broken. That you still love him. That he doesn't have to be afraid anymore. He looked at you one last time. If you want to help him come back, say something now. Some only he would know came from you. I'll carry that message. If you see him, just tell him that I really do love him and that I want to see him. Kunart's always expression softening for the first time what felt like forever. I'll tell him, word for word. I really do love you and I want to see you. He puts a hand over his chest, almost like a promise. Even if he's even if he's 1,000 feet tall or something else entirely, I'll make sure he knows. Jumbo gave a quick growl of support, nuzzling gently against you to remind you he was still there for you through all of it. Drew glanced toward the horizon. I'll go now. I smell money. Oh! Alright, guys, here's what it says. Trico glances toward the horizon. I'll go now. I owe you both this much. And with that, he darted into the trees, disappearing with a flick of his tail. Now it's quiet again, just you and Chomper under the open sky. Chomper, I'm glad you're still here. Period. I don't know if I'll ever get to see. Okay, now he's speaking again. Chomper gently lowered his massive head beside you, his golden eyes full of warmth and care. He let a soft, rumbling purr, low and comforting, like a protective heartbeat. He nudged you gently with his snout, then curled part of his long body around you like a living wall of security. You could feel the heat of his body, steady and grounding. You're not alone, he murmured, his voice deep but tender. Even if Lacey doesn't come back right away, or even if he never does, I'm still here. I won't leave you. A moment passed by where he added, almost in a whisper, and if I ever see him, I'll tell him exactly what you said. I promise. Holy crap. Here. I know it's not much, but how about you have this big, juicy steak? I don't care if it makes you much bigger. I love you a lot. Jumper's eyes lit up with surprise and affection as you offered the steak. The scent alone made his massive tail swish it silently behind him. He gently leaned down, taking the steak with careful jaws, ensuring not to accidentally nip your fingers. After savoring it with a graceful growl, he looked at you. His form already began to subtly expand, scales shimmering, shifting, limbs growing sturdier, and his head rising a bit higher above you.
You always take care of me.
He said softly, now nearly brushing the ceiling.
I love you too. When I ever thought I could love someone.
He leaned in again, his nose gently booping against your chest in a soft, affectionate nudge.
Even if I get too big for buildings, I will stay close to you. No size will change that.
Yeah, we were almost at my house. Do you still want to go and see it? Summer's eyes lit up with excitement, and he gave an eager nod, his powerful tail swaying gently behind him.
Yeah, I really want to see your house. I bet it's awesome, especially if it's your place.
He said, stepping carefully to avoid damaging anything nearby with his increasing size.
Even if I'm too big to fit inside, I'd still love to see where you live. Maybe I could curl up next to you or peek through the windows.
He looked down at you with a warm, playful grin.
Either way, partner, I'll follow you anywhere.
Uh, Before I can say anything, the potion that got splashed on me earlier suddenly started making my body glow again. No! Stop! I will kill. Dude, I'm going to flip and. And within seconds, I got transformed into a tiny blue. Oh no. Oh frick, I'm in the end of the video anyway.